well, I got into this whole business because I wanted a job that I didn't have to wear a dress. And so I was a music major in college. And but I always wanted to do the technical side of it. At Voice Trax, as Rolanda said, we do a lot of teaching and demos and auditions and stuff, but we also do recording anything with a voice. So a lot of audiobooks. We've actually beefed up one of our rooms to be more soundproof, so we do a lot of audiobooks there now because we have this deal with Random House that they love us. And
but Susan, you've heard a lot of voices. What are the voices that really stand out, and why?
You know, it's interesting. I was just watching Bob Hart's Abishola, which I had recorded, and I listened to the commercials. I didn't zoom through them. I was like, I need to listen to commercials, and there was a lot of female voices. That's the big deal right now in LA. Is, you know, the agents are all really wanting actors of diversity and diverse backgrounds and stuff, because that's being called for so much. And you know, like you guys have heard the Tiffany Haddish, the AT&T commercials. I love those. She's so awesome. But what makes them awesome is her personality. You know, that's what gets you the job. It's not necessarily the way your voice sounds. Because back to my thing of listening to all those spots, A, there was a lot of women, but B, nobody had a particularly unusual voice, or, you know, like where you go, wow, man, I love that person's voice, or, you know, anything like that. And actually, they were kind of bland. I'm like, oh, maybe there's some they were too good to be a celebrity. So celebrity, I don't know. Yeah, so, you know, it doesn't matter necessarily what your voice sounds like. It's what you're bringing to the copy, and what makes you special and what makes you stand out. And then, you know, there's voices of every age and style and everything going on and making money right now. Just you have to find your niche and what fits you. So,
you know, a lot of people are like scared to try to put their personality into it. So would you suggest maybe that's take two, do it straight one, and then do a take two a little?
Yeah, but even take one, you know, you want to have a little bit of something. You don't want to try so hard to fit their specs. You know, like Art Butler, who I'm sure you've auditioned with him, Rolanda, or not, at Voice Trax. He was the audition director, but now he's not doing it because of COVID, and he's actually a voice actor as well, and he's got a lot of stuff going on. So I don't even think he's going to go back to it if we ever get to go back to real life. And but he and I help people with auditions sometimes as well, and that's what he did at Voice Trax for 6 hours a day, every day, pretty much, when he didn't have sessions. And you know, we would say, look at the specs, and then just throw them out the window and do it the way you think it should be done. Mm-hmm. So now, sometimes, you know, you want to try to follow it somewhat. You know, if it's a soft and warm and fuzzy thing, you're not going to do it perky and bright, right? But but the gist of that, of us telling people that, was that, you know, just bring you what you know, what's going to make your audition a little bit different than the 100 other that they're going to listen to. Yeah, you got a question, Kevin?
Yeah.
You mentioned personality of Tiffany Haddish, and I noticed Samuel L. Jackson is in a million different commercials. How does one compete against that personality? Because their personalities are well known.
Yeah, and you know, and that's a big dilemma. You know, even for the actors here in LA, the scale actors, you know, they always go into it assuming they're competing. If it's a big campaign, you're always assuming you're competing with some celebrity, or that they're going to pick you and then you're going to get replaced by some celebrity. So, but you never know. So you gotta just go into that with, like, you know, and you know how I kind of dissed the celebrities a little bit ago there with saying the voiceovers were too good to be celebrities, because the celebrities often get hired just because they're a celebrity and the client wants to work with them, or they think that people are going to recognize their voice. But so many times you don't even recognize their voice, and because they're not trained in voiceover and they're not used to doing voiceover, they're just kind of you know, bland. And because they're not coming at it from an acting perspective. They're just reading some words on a page versus, hey, I'm acting out this commercial, right? You know, but Samuel L. Jackson is great, you know, and he does have a voice, a distinctive voice. Tiffany's voice is pretty distinctive as well. She's just got, you know, this bubbly personality. But But there's a lot of times that are spots, and I'm like, that's probably a celebrity, but I don't know who it is.
Right.
I try to find out who's doing what, but there's also a lot of things that aren't celebrities. I just a spot that stood out to me from the ones that I was just watching was for the Kia, not the Kia, the Hyundai Tucson, which is I happen to pay attention because it's the car that my daughter drives, but the guy just had this really regular sound, and it could be anybody, you know, and that sometimes is what they're looking for, that voice that's just like, yeah, I totally know that guy. He just, you know, he sounds like me or whatever, you know.
Mhm.
So, you know, so it's always this fine line, like Rolanda said, you know, you do the safe take, and then you do the full of personality take. And you got to judge when you can do that. If, you know, if it's healthcare, you know, don't worry, everybody gets well at our hospital. You're not going to come in with some big comedy take for take 2 or whatever, you know. So,
Yeah. And also, the thing is, too, you casting directors have been listening to one after the other, after the other, after the other. You better do, you know, and then when something fresh and new and a different kind of angle comes out, I would think that's the kind of thing that
well,
stands.
you know, like just listening to Rolanda's voice, you just exude this awesomeness that comes out of you, like confidence. I think that's more what's important, is having that confidence in your reads versus trying to sound like something or do something, you know, being confident in yourself and that this is the way I would do it. And then also, I'm sure Rolanda's beating this into you guys, is that, you know, voice acting, but you're acting to one person. That's, you know, always my big thing is, you know, I'm just talking to my friend. I'm not announcing this to 700 people in the world. Now, you know, some of you live in smaller markets where you do get those spots. And even there was one on that set of commercials where I was like, wow, that's kind of pumped up. It was for silhouettes, you know, like adult underwear for women that are having bladder problems. And it was about women in the gym, and, you know, so it was kind of pumped up. And I'm like, well, that's, you know, so she was kind of like, we have the power to do this and the thing, and you know, so you never know what they're looking for. Catherine's got a question.
Yeah, Catherine?
Yes. Thank you, Susan. You talk about female voices and you talk about diverse voices. One of the things I'm struck by as I've been listening to television and radio is the ways in which the female voice seems very narrow and Midwestern still. And I'm wondering if that's a voice that still appeals to the general population because it sounds friendly, and are there ways of diversifying? You know, I'm just interested in the industry. In light of what you said, it's fascinating. Does that make sense? What I'm asking is how to diversify and how to get your audience to appreciate something besides the sort of Midwestern white sound, especially in females.
Yeah, well, you know, the commercially, it's gotten a little more even, but commercially, you know, it's like probably 70% men, 30% women. Sorry, I talk with my hands, so I pull them up, and then they go. Probably, I think it's probably still 70-30, but I don't know. Maybe it's only about 60-40 now of male to female voices. But usually, like, I feel like what you still see a lot on the female commercials is it says, like, you know, 25 to 35 millennial sound, and you know, and you also have to think about who are the advertisers typically targeting. They're targeting you know, younger people. It's that you know, it used to be that coveted 18 to 24 age range, but I don't think that's really the range they're going for anymore. But I think the 20 to 35-year-olds is who they're still targeting pretty much, you know, so they want voices that sound like that. But I don't know, you know, what all you've listened to, Catherine, but listen to Food Network. If you have Food Network, record that, you know, you ladies especially, they, you know, those products tend to be more geared to women, and there's just like, you'll hear like 3 or 4 in a row that are female voiceovers on there. But again, they do typically sound, you know, white Midwestern, perky sort of voices. Yeah, Jamar.
Hello, pleasure to speak to you. So I'm personally interested more in the I'm interested in every facet of voice acting, but I'm particularly drawn to like animation and video games. What is the what is the thing that normally makes voices in that field stand out more for character-esque voices? Because I know for most commercial and whatnot, it's naturalistic and your regular speaking voice. But when you're doing characters, you're putting something on. What do you think would stand out the most?
Although, now again, with the animation, it's very, they're trying really hard, and video games are trying really hard to make more diverse voices, and, and you have a great natural sound in your own voice. Sounds awesome. And you have what they call the urban sound to your voice. So that's going to be great. But having a good range of characters is awesome, but being a good actor, it's all about the acting. Acting. That's the key.
Do you mind
told me you guys are all awesome.
Do you mind taking a couple of students and have them read what they've been working on and give them a little critique or suggestion? Okay.
Yeah.
I would describe my voice as, I would want to say paternal to a certain extent, sort of like a father's voice, relaxing, calming, and I've been told sexy by a lot of older women. So yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I listen to you read the dictionary.
Yeah. Yeah. I was in Walmart and I spoke, and this woman was like, "Do you like older women?" And I was like, "No." And she was like, "I got an Xbox." I was like, "Whoa, hey." But anyway, so yeah, relax.
That's an enticement. Oh God.
That might be the worst thing I've ever heard. But I chose that. So some of the stuff I'm interested in doing are very much so like commercialized, like holiday. I would even say holiday voiceovers, like some type of like maybe selling a diamond, selling something sexy, selling something romantic to somebody. So what I chose to read is not necessarily along those lines. It's more in the holiday section than it is in the sexy section. It's a Celestial watches ad, and it's very short. It's about I'd say 25 to 30 seconds. It's a warm, friendly, authentic read. Think of that friend that you haven't seen in a long time that you finally go for coffee with during the day or holiday season, even though you're both very busy. That feeling of making time for special people in your life should be reflected in your voice. It's supposed to be warm, authentic, and friendly. So I'll read it through. Wow, this is We ask kids, teens, parents, and grandparents from all over America to tell us what comes to mind when you think of this time of year. Time. That's what matters most this holiday season.
When they say warm, they want a lot of smile. So
Yeah.
Smile a bunch more. Smile,
Gotcha.
smile. And yeah, I like the tone and everything is really nice. Just smile, and usually I end up telling my students, you got to smile and feel stupid, because we don't see you. Like, I don't know how many, I think Rolanda said most of you do like on camera acting and stuff as well, right? And so you used to not emoting, don't look at the camera, don't do anything. Man, this is your close up and the camera's right there, and you're going to draw me in, but just your voice. So you got to smile, and I call it fairy dust. You're going to just sparkle fairy dust all over it.
Right. I got you.
Yeah. Yeah, let's see your teeth when you're doing this.
I got you. We ask kids, teens, parents, and grandparents from all over America to tell us what comes to mind most when they think of this time of year. Time. Time is what matters most this holiday season. Wishing you a happy holiday filled with time well spent. From your friends at Celestial Watches, make every moment count.
Oh, yeah. Look, everybody's going crazy. Yes, I love that.
That was a good one.
Yeah.
Beautiful voice. That voice is something. Also, you mentioned iSpot. That's a place where you can go and find commercials, TV shows. Is that what that is?
Well, it's commercials. iSpot.tv. But yeah, go there, just look at iSpot.tv, and then you click, you just click browse. It's on the top bar, and you click browse, and then the most current, the ads that have run the most recently will come up. Yeah, mine's just going like a turtle anyway. And a lot of spots don't have any voiceover, but it's a really great thing to start clicking and listening to all of them. And you'll hear all the different styles of voiceover. And what I tell my students to do is to turn away and listen without looking at the visual, because you're really influenced a lot by the visual sometimes. And, you know, and listen to how the music and the voice work together or don't work together.
And also, if you do a couple of takes and the second one is a lot better, put that one first.
Always, my rule is I always say send take two, because unless take one is perfect. Like sometimes some people that take one person, but I always say send take two. You know, if you made some mistakes, maybe take three. But if you're like on take 6, 7, 8, and you're editing together in the you're just, especially on a commercial, you know, animation might, you know, you might find something in the script that you want to fix or whatever. But,
how many takes do you say send, Susan?
it depends. Like commercially, well, most agents now say just send one take. A lot, I would say 90% of the time, in the instructions it says only send one take. Or if it doesn't specifically say you can send 2 or 3 takes, I only send one.
Yeah,
animation, you know, animation too, if the other one is way different. Exactly. Like if you just redid it and picked up the pace, whatever, you know, and it was better, or, you know, with the thing like this, you could edit between the lines or whatever and pick the ones you like the best. But yeah, for an animation, you can send 2. And then there's always the dilemma of, do I send the one that exactly follows the specs, or do I send the out of the box one that I think is going to be way different than what everybody else does? And I've asked casting people about this, and they're like, we don't know. I think what my rule of thumb is, if you're great a while or EG Daily and they know you, send that out of the box one first. If you're getting known, send the one that's pretty close to the specs, and then the other one. I just saw a great quote from Sarah Sherman on Twitter. There's quite a voiceover community on Twitter too. You guys should, you know, if you follow me, you'll probably get shown to people to follow. But Sarah Sherman from Disney, I think she's just at Sarah Sherman. Maybe let me see. I'll look her up. She just had this thing where she said, you're not auditioning for the role. You know, you're not just auditioning for that role. You're auditioning for every role ever. Because if you're not, you might not be right for that thing, or, you know, they pick a celebrity, whatever, but they're like, oh, we love Jamar for this. He was so good. He wasn't right for this, but he was so good. He'd be great for this. Or, you know, your take 2 might be like so out of the box, but they're like, oh, that's not for this role, but man, we got this other role that we haven't even sent auditions out for yet, that, you know, we got to have him read on this. So
that's so true.
That's the way you got to be thinking of it.
Right. And that's a good sign when you keep getting auditions from the same house. It's saying they're looking for something for you. So
yeah, exactly.
And that's
don't be going at it as like, I've got to book this thing, you know, this is, and sometimes, you know, it is like, oh, it's the perfect thing for me. But, you know, and you can go into it, but always just go into it as like, I'm just putting myself out there for whatever it is that they've got for me.
For a demo reel, should you have music, or should you just have your voice? And do you have different voices on one demo reel, or do you try to stick to just one thing? So I will play what I have, and then I'll let you rip it apart. I will go from there.
There are 2 new attractions in town, and it's not the Gateway Arch and the Mississippi River. Tune into St. Louis's hottest new afternoon radio show, Coming Home with Kara and Sammy, on the Lou's #1 hit music station, Jump 99.9. Like many other philosophers who greatly extended our knowledge of nature, Galileo had a remarkable aptitude for the invention of instruments designed for philosophical research. These kids are the pickiest eaters. I'm worried my little ones aren't getting the vitamins in their diet that they need. I sometimes get away with hiding the occasional carrot in a casserole that they'll actually eat, but that doesn't happen often enough.
wow.
I love your tech savvy.
Yes.
You're awesome with the tech. Good. Yeah. So for the LA market, that's too all over the place. You know, you want to have just, and I think for in general, you know, like if you're going on, you know, the pay to play sites, don't do it, but do it. You know, like just use Voices 1, 2, 3. That's the best pay to play site. You know, you want to have, you know, just commercials, like, for, you know, here's my 4 to 5 commercials. where you show range within the commercials. And then like the very first thing, the radio imaging thing, it was really cool. But right before I knew it was a radio imaging, I was like, oh, it sounds like a DJ, but because it was, right? So, but for a radio imaging spot, it was really cool. And maybe even within the context of a commercial demo, you could stick it in further down, kind of a thing. Once you've established, here's what I sound like commercially. And then, and then the audiobook thing is, again, the whole separate world. Commercial and the animation people don't care about audiobook stuff. It was fine and cute. And, yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with any of them, but they were just, like, I would never stick these 4 things together in the same demo kind of a situation.
Those are 4 different people looking for 4 different things.
If you want to listen to a bunch of demos, go go on the websites of talent agencies, like the ones that I've done a lot of demos for: Atlas Talent, AVO Talent, SPV. Those are all LA, and you can go on there and you can listen to demos, commercial, animation. Some people have promo demos. They're not going to usually have their, they might have a narration, but they're not going to have their audiobook one on there because you don't usually get those through the agents.
It's a casting, the casting specs are gender, male or female, age range 30 to mid 40s. Tone is genuine, natural, sincere, but with a bit of authority and distinction. Okay. The average driver only needs a fraction of the power. The average driver only needs a fraction of the agility. The average driver only needs a fraction of the braking power. But at BMW, we thought you wanted all. The BMW 5 Series. BMW, the ultimate driving machine.
Yeah, that was really nice. Very nice, Kevin. I like that. It was just real, casual and not trying to be that, the ultimate driving machine guy, it was just really real and connected. And like BMW is making a big push now to the younger market and just a little bit more regular people, and versus trying to be so luxury. I mean, it's still luxury, but it's luxury for everyday people kind of.
Right.
So I really like that.
The things I've been working on is just the different beats, because it was three lines that were very similar. So I was trying to get different beats for each line. And I was hoping to accomplish that, as well as 2 different tones. I was kind of smirking early and then smiling when it got to BMW. And those are just things that I've been working towards. And hopefully that was delivered successfully.
Yeah, I think so. It was so good. I was just like, wow, it sounded like a real commercial.
Okay, good. Awesome.
That's always my big compliment. Like, yeah.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
If you need a little confidence boost, there you go.
Right.
I was just going to mention that if you need audio, like music and whatnot, to be your backtrack for your reels, there is a great website called Storyblocks. You do have to pay for it, but it's called Storyblocks, that has royalty-free music and whatnot on it that you can use for your demos and whatnot if you're trying to make your own.
Thank you so much. And I know all of you with these great tips like this, we can put them up on our Facebook page and share.
I can do that.
Those are good things to know. Storyblocks for royalty-free music. That's good for your podcast too.
Yeah.
You guys have those as well. Okay.
I just want to say thank you again, Susan, for listening.
Oh, you're welcome.
Feedback.
This is such a polite class.
Hi, Susan. I'm Bella.
Hi, Bella.
Hi, how are you? The spec of the voice I'm reading is a female voice, 30 to 40s, friendly and engaging with good energy. The voice should have a bit of texture to it. The voice should feel natural and casual, not too over the top. So I'm going to try not to be too over the top because that's how I am in everyday life. So I got to bring it down. Okay.
That's great. It's always better to be too over the top than to have to get cranked up. So.
Okay. Awesome. Walmart has same-day delivery and pickup. It gets you groceries, school supplies, electronics, and more as soon as today. And now, even faster with a 2-hour express delivery. You can shop, girl, safe with zero contact and get the same low prices as in that store. We living better. Free curbside pickup, same-day delivery. Come on, girl, express delivery. Why you don't want to go Walmart?
Yeah. So You know, if they're going for like a super urban thing, I love that. But now do one where it's just like, don't lose all your personality. But that felt like you were talking in a bar to like 12 of your girlfriends, right?
Okay.
Now just talk in your kitchen to one person who's sitting right next to you.
Okay, one person. Okay. Walmart has same day pickup and delivery. It gets you groceries, school supplies, electronics, and much more as soon as today. And now even faster with a 2-hour express delivery. You can safely shop with no contact and get the same low prices as in the store. Free curbside pickup, same day delivery, express delivery, Walmart.
I love the way you did that ending, that Walmart.
I do too. I like that ending.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
almost like when you said it together, like Walmart.
Yeah.
Walmart.
So I like that one. Like I would send that as take one. Now do like what you think is really boring and just super bland and just like,
Okay.
like almost. I almost want you to feel like you're almost whispering. Like,
Okay.
You know, it's real soft, just so that it's just
Okay.
because you can keep all that energy. You can keep all that energy and just be like, imagine
soft.
like you got a microphone that's right here, and so you just barely got to talk, but you had all your energy still.
Okay.
Yeah.
Walmart has the same day pickup and delivery. It gets you groceries, school supplies, electronics, and more as soon as today. Walmart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was still on the scale of bland to energy. It was still way up here at about an 8. So I loved it. Yeah, like that. You know that. I like that. So you gotta, everybody's always different. So you gotta bland it way down always, just to when it's something super generic, just feel like you're doing nothing, and be awesome.
Just talk to somebody right there. And when you're out with your girlfriends and guy friends and you're talking about something, notice how your voice changes and how your body changes. Notice that, because that's the real deal that you're going to bring there. Good stuff, Bella.
Whatever you've done, maybe you knew it before, but whatever you've done in this 6 weeks, you know what you're really good at. You know your strengths, and that's the key. Is I'm sure that Rolanda's done this. The best, the people that book the most are the people that are willing to take a script and go, I'm not right for this. I'm not even going to audition. Because you got to know what you are good at, and and the voiceover community is so awesome. Like, I know people that'll get us. There was just a big, again, on the Twitter exchange, there was a huge thing about this. I think it was on Twitter, maybe it was Facebook, about people talking about, oh no, it was Kay Bess's podcast. Oh, here, I'll put her name down here in the chat too. She's got a good podcast.
Yeah, we want all your juicy secrets.
She and you guys know about Voiceover Body Shop?
Yeah.
VOBS.TV.
Catherine's taking notes.
VOBS.TV. It's they have videos, and like I'm in one from like 4 years ago, and you can look at the old ones too. But they have video, YouTube channel about home setup. There's a lot of tech stuff, so home setups and stuff. But then they also interview actors and stuff as well.
All right, Susan, we love you. Thank you so much. You just shared so much of your time. We kept you over time.
Thank you so much.
But I'm doing a lot of demos by Zoom and Source Connect, and and even people that live in LA. I've done quite a few demos in the last 6 months or so for people that live in LA but didn't come to Voice Trax, and we just hooked up via the interwebs. Jamar, yeah.
I am so sorry. I know we're at the tail end. I just wanted to ask one quick question. Do you happen to know? I know you're based in LA, but do you know of any? And because I have a commercial demo that I'm going to be working on, but I'm looking to get an animation one done as well. Do you know of any people who specialize in the animation demo department?
Well, I do animation demos.
Oh, amazing!
If you go on the Voice Trax website, there's some demo samples. They're all a little bit older. There's animation and commercial ones on there.
Yeah, and you can also, in your email, Jamar, I put a link where you could go and listen to some of Susan's reels that she's worked on as well.
Yeah, I need to update those ones on the website to more current ones.
I wasn't sure if I can go through that since I'm based in New York.
The two people that I know, the the most that do the most animation ones are myself, and then Chuck Duran.
Chuck Duran.
And there's a few other people, but there's not that many people that do animation ones. And that's my favorite thing to do, because I love mixing the animation demos and putting all the sound effects and reverbs and all kinds of cool stuff on them, and just
That's good to know. I need an update.
Yeah, and just directing and stuff and everything too. I love it all. So, yeah.
Well, that's why you're the best. You're among your tops. Everybody says it.
Yeah. I can't, like, I put it in the thing at, feel free to email me, you guys, Susan@voicetrackswest.com.
Take care, everybody.
Take care.
Have a great one.
Yeah, you
Bye.
too.
Bye.
Bye-bye, everybody. Thanks
Bye.
again, everybody. Love
Thank
you
you.
guys.
Love you too. Thank you.